Good evening, everybody. I am Melanie Riska. I am your city clerk. Tonight, we are here for our community forum on Let's Vote, Know Your Options, preparing for the 2024 presidential election. We want to talk about some changes to our elections that you're going to see in 2024. Namely, Proposal 2 of 2022. If you voted in 2022, you may have voted for this proposal. What this proposal did, this is a constitutional amendment, and it solidified your fundamental right to vote, which we already had in the federal law. It implemented 9 days of early voting. Military ballots can be returned by election day as long as they're postmarked by election day. Photo ID, you can either show a photo ID in your polling location. If you're not in possession of your photo ID, you can sign an affidavit. We also created a permanent absent voter list. So that means voters can sign up for the permanent ballot on that permanent ballot list and automatically receive a ballot every election cycle. Prepaid ballot postage and state-funded ballot tracking notification system. So anytime somebody wants to receive their ballot, they no longer have to pay for postage when they return their ballot. That is all state-funded. And then access to ballot drop box. I'm going to go through a few of those things, but those are the primary changes that Prop 2 of 2022 did for voters to have access to the ballot. So some of the options, if you'll note on the screen, where it says new, those are new voting options that voters have. So new is 9 days of early voting before every election. That includes Saturdays and Sundays. And at early voting, you can go in, receive a ballot, and you can put your ballot directly into a tabulator. And the results are tabulated on election night. So while your ballot is being put into a tabulator, it is collecting those votes. However, we cannot print any results until 8 p.m. when the polls close on election night. I talked a little bit about already the perm ballot listing. So that is one single application forevermore. You will always receive a ballot in the mail if you have returned that application. So no longer do you have to fill out an application before every election cycle. You can take that ballot to your early vote site. So you can receive your ballot in the mail. You can take that ballot to any early vote site or to your polling location on election day, and you can put that ballot through a tabulator. So no longer do you have to take your ballot to a precinct if you want to vote on election day and receive a new ballot. You can just tabulate the ballot that you already have. Application ballot, so you still can remain on our permanent application list. I find that voters who are frequent travelers tend to like that option because the United States Post Office does not forward ballots. So we send ballots to the registered address, and if you happen to not be there, then your ballot will get returned to us, and we don't want that. So if for individuals who are frequent travelers or snowbirds, they like to stay on that permanent application list so that they do return that application every election cycle and they can note where they want us to send their ballots. Again, when you receive that ballot, you can tabulate that at an early vote site or at the precinct on election day. But any AV ballot, you can also drop in any U.S. Post box with no postage necessary or any one of our 7 drop boxes located throughout the city now. On election day, all of our polling locations, we have 40 polling locations. They are all still open on election day. And, so voters can go in there regardless if you received a ballot and you want to tabulate it on election day, you can do so at your precinct. Our election center is at the community center, which is right across the street on Dodge Park. We are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, August 3rd, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday before the election and even on election day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We do have same-day registration. Same-day registration started back in 2019 after Prop 3 of 2018. That was another constitutional amendment that was put forward to voters. and they overwhelmingly supported it. So our election center is open that entire time for individuals who want to come and register all the way up until 8 p.m. on election day. So the election center is for anybody that has anything to do with voting. So whether or not they want to register to vote, they want to sign up for perm ballot, they have any election questions, they can visit us at the election center. So one of the biggest changes of Prop 2 of 2022 is early voting. At the February election, that was the first time that we rolled out early voting. That is now a constitutional protection that we have. We house early voting at our election center, at the community center, but for the August primary, we have a second location. We have partnered with the Chaldean Community Foundation. So what we found in February was that a lot of people who use the early voting option were on this side of the Mound Van Dyke corridor, and because it's just easier to get here, and individuals who lived on the other side of that corridor, that industrial corridor, that we had less people come over here to early vote. So what we wanted to do was make voting even more accessible. So we partnered with the Chaldean Community Foundation. So for the entire 9 days, Saturday, July 27th through Sunday, August 4th, 9 a.m. to 5 a.m., again, that includes Saturdays and Sundays, voters can go to either our election center or the Chaldean Community Foundation located on 15 Mile. It's just west of Ryan Road, and they can cast their ballot there. In addition to that, we have partnered with the city of Utica, so Utica voters are also welcome to come to either one of our early vote sites. So I mentioned earlier that we are embarking upon our widespread voter education campaign, and this is our logo, Let's Vote, Know Your Options. And I'm going to kind of go through some of these various things that we've done so far, and we have a lot of more events planned between the August primary and the November presidential election. Every voter in the city, so we have about almost 106,000 registered voters, received one of these postcards. If you have not received it, feel free to stop by our office, or we do have some here this evening. And it just outlines all of your voting options and gives you more information. The City Magazine, which should be coming out relatively soon, will have additional information about voting options, how to register, where early voting sites are, our election center, voting by mail, all of that information will be listed in the City Magazine. So tonight, like I said, this is being recorded for those individuals or residents who were not able to attend this evening. We are recording this so that we can play it on SHTV, on our website, on our social media for individuals that want more information. But tonight you'll all have an opportunity later to ask any questions that you want to know about the election. And if anybody who is watching this later, they can always contact our office for more information. We will have another community, or maybe two community forums between the August primary and the presidential election, kind of going over the same information, because as you can imagine, 106,000 registered voters, there's a lot of voters to reach to make sure that everybody knows how easily accessible their ballot is. Part of our education campaign is a video series. So the City of Sterling Heights, like I said, we have our own SHTV. And when we thought about doing a video series about the different options, we went to our SHTV team and we said, we kind of want to do some animation. And now that's not something that our SHTV team have done before. So Bob Surgat took it upon himself. He was very excited about it. And he took a stab at doing an animation through the series of videos, and we think he did a wonderful job. So this is the first in our series of Know Your Options, and this is regarding early voting.
Hey Sterling Heights voters, I'm Melanie Riska, your city clerk. We're here today to walk through our early voting process. During the 9 days of early voting, you can visit our election center from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., including Saturdays and Sundays. Let's check it out. First thing voters need to do is fill out an application to vote with name, address, date of birth, and signature. Then hand your application and photo ID to the early vote worker. If you are not in possession of your photo ID, you can complete the affidavit on the back of the application. The early vote worker will verify your registration and issue the correct ballot. Now find an available booth to mark your ballot. Once you finish marking your ballot, a worker will direct you to the correct tabulator and you will insert your ballot. Once you see this screen, your vote has been counted. Don't forget your I voted sticker. Well, that was easy. I wonder what happens to the ballots now. At the end of the night, ballots are sealed in state-approved ballot containers. Workers complete all necessary paperwork, including poll books and results tape. Ballot containers, poll books, and results are taken to the local receiving board. The receiving board will double-check that all paperwork is complete and accurate. Paperwork and results are sent to the Macomb County Board of Canvassers, who will go through a final detailed check before they certify the results. The ballots get sent to a secure location and are retained for 22 months after the close of canvass. Now you know your options, so let's vote, Sterling Heights.
So that was our first video. Our second video just came out a couple weeks ago, and this is a video on vote by mail. So we will watch that one next.
Hey Sterling Heights voters, I'm Melanie Riska, your city clerk. Today we're going to walk through our vote by mail process. Voters have two options to receive a ballot by mail. You can request an application for an absent voter ballot before every election cycle, or you can be added to the permanent ballot list to automatically receive your ballot before every election.
Hey, back here. How do I know which option is best for me?
Well, if you plan to vote by mail every election and do not travel often, the permanent ballot list may be your best option. Your ballot will be mailed to your registered address. If you're a frequent traveler or only want to vote by mail occasionally, the permanent application list may be a better option. It's important to remember that the United States Post Office will not forward ballots, so you'll need to tell us where to mail your ballot by listing it on your application. Ballots are mailed out 40 days before Election Day. Don't forget to sign your envelope to avoid delays in processing your ballot.
Okay, so how do I return my voted ballot?
You now have a few options to return your ballot. During the 9 days of early voting, you can bring your ballot to an early vote site and put your ballot right into a tabulator. Make sure your ballot is in the secrecy envelope with the numbered stub visible. Or on Election Day, you can bring your ballot to your precinct and put it into the tabulator. Again, make sure your ballot is in the secrecy envelope with the numbered stub visible. When you tabulate your ballot during early voting or on Election Day at a precinct, don't forget your I voted sticker. You also still have the option to return your ballot to one of our 7 drop boxes located throughout the city. A list of these drop boxes is included in the voting instructions that come with your ballot. Or you can return your ballot in any mailbox, no postage required. Remember to allow enough time for your ballot to be received by the clerk's office by Election Day. We recommend 7 days prior to the election.
Yeah, but how do I know the city clerk's office received my application or ballot?
You can track your application and your ballot by visiting mi.gov/vote.
So what happens to my ballot now?
At the end of the night, ballots are sealed in state-approved ballot containers. Workers complete all necessary paperwork, including poll books and results tapes. Ballot containers, poll books, and results are taken to the local receiving board. The receiving board will double-check that all paperwork is complete and accurate. Paperwork and results are sent to the Macomb County Board of Canvassers, who go through a final detailed check before they certify the results. The ballots then get sent to a secure location and are retained for 22 months after the close of canvass. Now you know your options. Let's vote, Sterling Heights.
I especially like the clerk's super secret underground bunker for the ballots, because we take that very seriously in making sure that our ballots are secure. So in the video, we mentioned that AV ballots get sent out 40 days before the election. So this is the AV team. They are the ones that do all the issuing of the ballots, the assembly of the AV ballots, and then get them prepped for mail. So the trays that you see on that screen they're packed with ballots. They're tagged so that the post office knows that it's election mail, and they know to make them a priority. Our bulk AV, so most of our AVs went out on June 27th. We sent out just over 16,000 of them, but we continuously send out AV ballots every day as we receive requests. So one final thing I want to touch base on with regard to knowing your options is the Michigan Voter Information Center. So mi.gov/vote has a ton of information for voters. You can look up your registration. You can register to vote online right now. You can apply for your absentee ballot. You can track your absentee ballot at that website. You can find out where you vote, find out what's on your ballot, find out where your ballot drop boxes are. Let's say you've lost the instructions that it came with your AV ballot, but it has that much and all that information and so much more. So I really encourage all voters to visit that site to find more information. But also, if you didn't want to visit that site, you can always reach out to us in our office. You can send us an email. You can give us a call. The number is on the screen. Our website is on the screen. Our email address is on the screen. Our entire team is committed to helping voters know their options, answer any of their questions, and so please reach out to us if you have any questions. So that concludes our presentation. I want to say a special thank you to our intern in the clerk's office, Nick. He has been really helpful in promoting, Let's Vote, Know Your Options, and getting us into different events in space. We'll be at different events throughout the community. We will be if you have a community event or an organizational event and you think it might be beneficial for us to come and visit and help register voters or answer questions, please reach out to us, invite us. We'd be more than happy to attend. So I thank you all for attending this evening, and we'll see you at the ballot box. Thank you.